with my son, Michael Sweet. Love you, Michael. Thank you for doing this interview. We've been waiting a long time, and I'm so happy that we're getting to do it finally.
No problem. I hope that I answer all these questions correctly.
Okay. What, a lot of the fans are asking about the scoop on your book. Can you just give us a little answer about when you think that'll be out?
Well, the problem with that is I signed a deal for the record and the book. And the label wants to release both together.
Yeah.
The record's been done for almost 2 years. The book is finally done.
Okay.
So it took a long time because we hired someone to write it, and we had to basically pretty much rewrite it.
So it'll be a package then?
It'll be a package, and it's a long story, but I never realized in my life how long it takes to write a book, especially your first
Well, yeah.
book.
And you did a great job. It's what, 350 pages? And
yeah, I think it may not be quite that many. We edited out some stuff because you find when you start getting into editing the repetitiveness, and you realize, okay, I don't need that, and you start cutting stuff.
And it'll be out next year, right?
We're really shooting for first quarter of next year with the record and the book. Yes.
Okay, now...
It's called Honestly.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah. It's called
Wow,
Honestly.
this is the first I heard this.
It's a real open, honest book, but without being brutally cutthroat and throwing people under the bus and getting into other people's ordeals. I just get into mine, but it just so happens that other people were involved in mine. So, Oz, Robert, the band, or whoever for that matter, and it's a cool book.
Now, earlier, you and Rob were telling me a story about Tommy Lee. Do you want to share that about a Hollywood? No.
No, because that's in the book.
Okay.
That's a story. That's a story. Kind of a story that's never been told. That's in the book. So it's a special thing.
But you were saying when you were in the Hollywood days that there was all these people filtering into Hollywood that, you'd look over and say hi and you'd realize it was Doug Aldrich or somebody.
Yeah. Everyone congregated in L.A. because that's where you went to make it. If you were a hard rock musician or metal musician or whatever, if you were a musician, you went to LA to make it, and bands were getting signed left and right. So I'd come out of Gazzari's after having played a set, and I'd look over and there was Doug Aldrich, or I'd look over and there was CeCe DeVille, or I'd look over and there was it was just Jake E. Lee, and it's just unbelievable the people that just got into town. And I'd run into and meet in front of Gazzari's, the Troubadour, the Roxy.
Well, that's where they all came.
That's where they all came.
They wanted to play. They wanted to be discovered.
Exactly. And we were there. We were performing. We lived there. So. David
Ayuso, who's a fan of yours, wants to ask you if you were able to do it with anybody, who would it be?
Well, I did a duet. It's kind of a semi-duet with Tony Harnell on the new record. That was really a cool opportunity. I love Tony's voice. He's a dear friend. So that was one thing off the bucket list, checked off. As far as anyone else, oh my gosh,
You got any females you'd like to
I always loved Ann Wilson, from Heart.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Something like that. It was someone like that, of that stature. I mean, she's amazing. But I've never really given that much thought, in terms of a duet with someone.
A guy named Jason Whitehair wants to know, are there any great ballads on No More Hell to Pay?
There's one ballad. It's a guitar ballad. It's called The One. And I wrote it for Lisa, for my wife Lisa, and it's a really special song and a really good song. It's got a little bit more of a It's a rock ballad, not a piano ballad.
Oh, wow.
So STRYPER's pretty much always been known for their piano ballads. This is a guitar ballad, more like Lady, more in that vein.
Hi, Lisa. We love you. Hi.
Versus Honestly.
Okay, another fan, Stephanie Everly. You know Steph. She wants to know how
STRYPER gal.
Yeah, how do you transition from tour life to home life?
Stephanie's our buddy. We love Stephanie. You just you try to keep your feet on the ground and your head out of the stars, and just when you get home you dive back into life, and you don't sit around and take pity on yourself, and you just kind of dive right back into it and get with it. And I try to do that. I try to get busy.
Do you try to live like a much more normal, slow-paced life when you go home?
Yeah, it's really a simple life. I mean, we grill and walk the dog and go to the beach and go get ice cream. I mean,
have a cup of coffee or whatever.
It's just a real simple life. Yeah, and that I love that because it's such a contradiction to the lifestyle that we have right now at this moment of traveling and performing. That's a real busy, stressful, crazy, go life. And then when I get home, it's nice to just have a very peaceful, quiet life.
And today's been a real fast-paced day.
It always is, because you got to be here and then there and then here and then there, and you got to do this and that and this and that and this and that. It's just the way it goes. We're used to it.
This girl named Nani Los wants to know, besides Stryper, who are some of your favorite musicians to work with?
Oh gosh, to work with, probably don't have many answers to that, because I haven't worked with that many. But to want to work with, I mean, there's so many guys out there that I'd love to work with. I love, as far as guitar players go, I love Steve Lukather. Would love to do something with him. Joel Hoekstra, which I may be doing something with at some point in terms of touring. We've talked about it. George Lynch, that's coming to pass because
there's one more thing.
I'm doing a record with George. I get to produce and co-write with him. It's going to be awesome, and I'm excited. And that takes place in February of next year, and then we'll get released next year. So there's a musician, Brian Tishy, James Lomenzo. They're going to be on it. Those are two guys I've always wanted to work with, and I'm going to get to work with.
This, another fan named Edward Bartlebaugh wants to know what happened to the Jackson Kelly used during the To Hell with the Devil days.
The Jackson Kelly was one of many that got stolen.
Yeah.
I had a break-in back in 1995, and a lot of my guitars were taken, stolen, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
So that's gone. I haven't seen it since.
Okay, another fan, Joe Leha, he wants to know, were you trying to get the attention of Robert and his band members when you used to do things to them when they'd be rehearsing, taking a break, like kicking over the drums or whatever?
I don't know if we were trying to get the attention. We were just being brats, you know? And going in there, we were bored.
Who's we?
Greg and I.
You and Greg Rollmeyer?
Greg Rollmeyer. We'd go into the studio when they were gone at work or school or whatever, and we'd, unplug things or turn the knobs all the way up to 10, and then we'd sit outside and we'd hear Larry Richardson plug in and him go, oh my God, and then we'd laugh, So we did stuff like that all the time just to get a laugh.
Let's go back and talk about No More Hell to Pay for a few. Do you see this release opening new doors for the band?
I do, but
God, I feel like I'm falling down in a hole over here.
I do. I really do. But, I'm trying not to be unrealistic in terms of I'm not, I don't have my head in the clouds thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to be the biggest thing we've ever done or since sliced bread. But I do think, truly, my opinion, everyone has an opinion, and my opinion is that of this record is one of our best, if not our best. And hopefully the reviews will line up with what I'm saying and go hand in hand with what I'm saying, and that will speak volumes. But I just feel it's one of our best records. How we did that, I don't know. I went down and wrote the stuff really quickly. I had little ideas on my phone.
And you didn't write it in the studio. You wrote it.
No, what I do is when I'm out walking the dog and a song comes to me, I take my phone and I press record. I got a voice recorder, and I go da 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 da, and then I go home and then I dun 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 dun, and then I make a song out of it. And that's how I did all these songs. I had about 30 or 40 some odd ideas. Went down in 2 weeks and I arranged them and wrote them.
And what is your favorite song off of that?
Oh gosh, that's really hard to pick a favorite because they're all so different and they're all really cool. I'd probably say I like Legacy. It's real heavy. I like Sticks and Stones. It's a real straight ahead radio rock, almost a Guns N' Roses kind of vibe. I like the single, No More Hell to Pay, Revelation. I mean, they're all different.
They're all different, but they're all great.
They're all really, but people haven't heard the whole record yet.
I know, they just heard bits and pieces.
And I'm really excited about them hearing the whole record because I think it's gonna floor people, and I think it's our best record. And because of that, I hope and pray, we all do, that it does well, and that we can kind of step things up and continue doing what we're doing, because quite frankly, it's difficult to continue doing music when you are struggling financially and you can't.
Well, you can't go in the hole when you go out and tour, you know, because you just can't. Nobody can afford that, you know.
It's very tough to tour for us, but for many bands. But you know, I'm hoping that we can change that so we can continue to tour, and not only tour, but go. You know, step things up, bring in more people, go to larger venues, and just get the message out there to the masses. It'd be really amazing.
A fan named Christopher Segura wants to know, do you do any impersonations of anybody?
I just impersonate Rob and Oz and, you know, all the guys around me.
You remember you used
like
to
Robert's thing that he does all the time, and he's heard it a billion times, and we kind of joke about it, is pretty much you can count on the minute you see him get off of the plane, and I purposely say, "How you doing, Rob?" He goes, "I'm so tired." Oh my God, I'm so tired. God. And it's just become kind of a funny thing, and and then Oz, you know, with the big eyes, you know, when you're talking to him about something, he's always got that look like, "I'm going to kill you," you know. But he's not really going to kill you, but he.
You remember though?
He gives you that look, like
you used to do Boy George. You used to do Willie Nelson. Remember?
Yeah, but I got to sharpen up on my impersonation skills.
Okay. Do you remember the first song you wrote? Hope Berkey would like to know if you can remember it. You remember?
No, first real song.
First, well, I remember the first. You wouldn't call it a real song, but I remember the first thing you ever made up.
Yeah, no, I know. We talked about that, but that wasn't a real song.
No, it wasn't a real song.
I think a real song would be maybe they were silly. Like I had a song I wrote called "Girls Are Like Toys," which was just stupid lyrically, but it was a really cool song musically. We used to play that out, and then I had a song called "Stranded."
Stranded, I remember that. I like that.
Yeah, "Stranded," and then I started really kind of getting into it, and then not long after that was "Marching into Battle."
And I like that too.
And not a lot of people know that. If any people know that, that's an old song I wrote when I was 16 years old. The lyrics are new; they're right out of Revelation. But musically, it's some differences. But that's an old song.
Yeah, but I like it.
And we never recorded.
And I always thought you should have.
Yeah, and it's funny because people say, "Wow, this sounds like right out of the '80s." It's like, well,
because it is. Now, Mike, do you have any pre-show rituals as a singer or musician? Things that you do before you go on stage?
Yes, every time before I go on stage, I kick my leg out about 20 times, chop myself in the throat about maybe 30 times.
God. Frank Maffei.
No, you know,
that
I do. I mean, probably what I do that's ritualistic is I pace, and I get real nervous. I don't know why. I'm starting to get more nervous now because it's getting closer to showtime.
Because you got all this energy, and you go out there and you expand it on stage, and then you're totally tired and exhausted afterwards.
I don't know what it is. I wish I could just go out there relaxed. And I think if I could, you'd hear it in my voice. Often enough, I watch on YouTube, and my voice sounds real nervous, kind of strained and nervous and tense. And if I could just relax, like on records, my voice sounds different. You know, I just get real.
Just relax.
I think about it too much.
Just relax, honey. Okay, this father and son team, their names are Danny and Kylan Wolfenbarger. They want to know if you could change anything, if you could go back and change anything, would you do anything different?
Well, this is very controversial amongst the band members, and I talk about this in depth. There's a whole chapter devoted to this.
Okay.
And I'm going to get flack for this, but I don't know that I would have done the yellow and black. And
really?
Yeah. I feel it's just, again, my personal opinion, and we all have that right to have our own opinions. I feel like often enough it overshadows the music.
Yeah.
People, I can't tell you how many times I'm talking to people and they say, hey, what band are you in? And I say, a band called STRYPER. And they say, never heard of you. And I say, calling on you, tell the devil, no, never heard of it. Yellow and Black, oh yeah, yeah, the crazy, yeah, the bumblebee, oh my God, yeah. And I just think, I stand there going like this.
Oh God.
Basically point proven. And, you know, that's a good thing, because I guess that's helped us to establish a style, but it is a little frustrating when people don't remember the message or the music and they remember the color scheme, you know? Just my opinion.
Now, Scott Lanini, you know him from Facebook, he's a wonderful guy, and he says in November of '90, your record label was going out of business. And you guys were out on tour, and you did your last date about the time you found out that your label was going out of business. Did you know about that ahead of time, or? We
kind of had a little bit of an idea that it was a possibility, but we didn't know for sure. And then we got the call that it was happening. And obviously, once that hit home, we thought, oh my gosh, and it was a shocker. Because we realized, okay, the chances are this is over. And miraculously, and you know, thank God, we were able to get another deal quickly, because Wes went to Hollywood, and we wound up doing a deal with Hollywood, a short-lived deal, but a deal nonetheless. And you know, when I look back on the history of the band, and not just the band, but myself as a solo artist, and all the deals we've been able to sign, we're really blessed.
Yeah, you really are.
Most bands are fortunate enough to sign one deal.
Yeah.
We've signed many.
Yeah, you have.
Many.
And you're getting some good promo, you know?
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we really have a lot to be thankful for.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Now, Frank Turtle Burton, who is another fan, big fan, he wants to know, if you could be an actor instead of a singer, what kind of movies would you like to make?
Oh, gosh, definitely like spaghetti westerns. Like, you know. I don't know. I'd probably like
musicals,
comedy / action.
Oh yeah, you know, more comedy than anything.
Maybe comedy action. Like, remember those movies with what was his name? I can't think of it. The Asian guy who does a lot of the
Bruce Lee.
No. He does a lot of the funny, you know.
Oh, I know what you're saying, but I don't.
Martial art funny movies.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember his name.
Those kind of movies, you know.
Jackie Chan.
Huh?
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan, yes. Jackie Chan, those kind of movies.
The Peanut Gallery
where
over there.
They're action, but they're funny, you know, that kind of.
Okay, Mark Ramsey wants to know, he's seen certain secular entertainers that have become Christian, but they continue to use stage props and lyrics that are secular. And do you consider that entertainment or sending a mixed message to the fans?
I don't think it's sending a mixed message unless you're crossing the line. Like if you're up there with, you know, sexual sex toys, and you know, you got all this craziness going on, you know what I mean, and half-naked women, you know what I mean.
So there is just entertainment.
There's a line I think you could cross, but I think for the most part, some people take that way too serious.
Yeah.
Way too serious, because I've always used the argument of, well, wait a second, if you're going to apply that to a Christian band or a Christian entertainer, then you got to apply that to your job.
Right.
Why are you working at a secular job?
We're still out there living in the world, you know.
Exactly. If you're going to apply that, you got to apply it. Why are you shopping at a secular supermarket?
Right.
I mean, come on.
Right.
Way crazy.
You could go to over the top with that.
You can go over the top. I think many people do go. They do.
Why are you driving a car made by a company that's not owned by Christians?
Because we live in this world, and until we don't live in this world, then we're going to continue to, unfortunately, have to go secular.
I got one more question for you. This one's from another fan, and you know her. Her name is Antoinette Taylor.
Yep.
She wants to know if you could ever do a Broadway show. What would it be?
Oh gosh. Oh, I have no idea. No idea. Maybe something fun, musical, obviously. Like Rock of Ages was fun recently and quite successful. Always like Phantom of the Opera.
Oh
Saw
yeah,
that.
Phantom is a big hit. What for many years in Vegas.
Yeah, something that really involves really good singing and,
Yeah.
and songs, but yet a great story. You know,
Yeah.
it really touches the heart. You know,
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, we're gonna say goodbye, and we're gonna thank Michael for doing this interview. Mike, we love you, and you
Love
want to
you too.
send a message out there to the fans?
Yeah, guys, thanks for watching and thanks for being there throughout the years. And I hope I wasn't too brutally honest. I hope you guys take it in stride and know that that's who I am. I'm just kind of, I speak from the heart. And sometimes that gets me in trouble, but
Yeah.
I'm a very open and honest person, and I love you guys, and I appreciate everything, and appreciate you supporting us, and God bless you guys. It's been awesome.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.